Susan from Sewfeet.com, and this video is the first in a series about my new sewing studio. I'm focusing on my cutting table and how I upcycled a table from my previous sewing space to give me a great cutting and pressing station. This is the table I brought with me from my previous sewing space, and I really like this table. It is counter height, but it's only 16.5 inches wide, so it was very narrow and would not work for a cutting table. I did not have room for a cutting table in my sewing space, so I used the kitchen island when I needed to cut. In case you're wondering, this is an IKEA table, but it's discontinued, so it's not available anymore. I decided to upcycle this into a cutting table with help from my brother-in-law. We used 3/4 inch plywood, and I had him cut it 32 inches, which is twice as wide as the table. Still not as big as a regular cutting table, but I work mostly with small projects and small pieces I'm cutting, so this will work just fine for me. Once the table had a new top, I sanded it and painted it with a chalk paint in a gray color. And I really am not concerned about it looking beautiful, but I wanted it to have a little more finished look than just raw plywood. And here's the finished table with a brand new top. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. And this was the very first time I had used any chalk paint, and I was really happy with it. It went on very easy, and there was a minimum amount of prep work for the table. I did add a large cutting mat, and I got this from an Etsy shop called Big Rotary Cutting Mat 2, which is an appropriate name. I love the white color with the dark blue markings. The last thing I wanted to do for the cutting table was to add a pressing station, and the picture you're looking at is my pressing mat that I've had for many years, and you can tell it looks well used. But I decided to cover it, and I made a little slip cover from pre-quilted cotton, so it's really simple to do. And I placed this at one end of the cutting table. I also put my wool pressing mat right on top of the larger pressing mat so that it's handy when I need it. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my cutting table process. There's more to come as I work on my sewing space, and I love sharing this with you, so stay tuned and happy stitching.